can see it on my computer as well. Ooh, let's start with this. Oh, that's a blank sheet of paper, that's what I was doing. Anything happening?
What?
Okay, let's see. I'm going to go back over there in a minute. Got a bit of a mucky pup here. Okay. Hi everyone! Oh, sorry? Just checking if I can see it. I can't see it on mine. Nope, not yet. See if there's anybody there. I've just refreshed it just in case. Just let me have a quick look. Yeah, I can see myself. Not myself, but just going to put my computer on so I can see the comments hopefully. I've just refreshed it just in case. Yep, that's all good.
Do you want to hear yourself as well?
Oh, not really, no. No. Paul says, do you want to hear yourself as well? As if to say I've got an awful voice. So I'm putting myself on mute. But hopefully I can see the comments. Hello everybody. Hi Perry. Nice to see you here. So I know some of you will have seen the announcement go out. And so I decided to launch the Rustic Paris today. As there's an article coming out in the magazine, so I thought it would be good to launch it. Hopefully after this today, we'll be going through the entries for the March competition and we will be announcing the winner. So I'm sorry I haven't got the winner with me at the moment, but I will be announcing the winners in either today, if not tomorrow. So I will wait for a few more of you to come on board as I'm just getting ready. And I wanted to share the new Rustic Paris collection with you today. So I'll wait for a few more of you to join. And I hope you're all keeping well. It's very windy here. The wind's pretty cold. The sun does shine now and again. I hope you're all safe wherever you are. So I just wanted to sort of get started, and I think I'm on time. Good morning, Pip. So once I get started, I can start showing the book with you and showing you what we have for you. All right, we've got a few more coming on board, so that's brilliant. So I just thought I'd give you a few more minutes and then we can obviously get started. So the story behind Rustic Paris is I love journaling and Pip and I love this sort of mixed media collage effect. We've gone for some totally different colours than we have before. I love the feel of this. It's actually one of my favourites, but I say that every time we produce a new one. But this is definitely very close to one of my favourites. Hi Charlie, nice to see you here. So there's a few more of you joining. So I'm going to go through it, and I can still go through it again, but I'm just going to get started. So Rustic Paris, we've got an 8x8. We've got matching rice papers, we've got a matching stamp, and we have a matching stencil. So I will just show you. I'll go through the pad first. Good morning, Gloria. I know you already liked it earlier this morning. I think you're up before I am. So again, it's an 8x8. It's actually bigger than, they're all bigger than an 8x8. They're an 8.6 by 8.6. So let's have a quick look at this. Okay. So you've got all these layers. I mean, there are so many layers. I can't tell you how many layers we've put on these. Oh, so that doesn't sound very nice, Parry, all those snowstorms. Oh. Yes, it's very rare, the weather. Last year this time it was like a heat wave. So I do understand. So that's just one page. That's actually the cover, inside cover. So you can see all the elements we've put on there. So if you're somebody who's new to mixed media and you just want to use a background, this is great for a background. If you want to put a focal point on top of this, it's a really lovely way to use it. So then we've got some of the Paris buildings in the background, and you can just see how beautiful that is. And then you've got those tones. We also always take into consideration that not everybody is a scrapbooker or an album maker. So we do a lot of cards. So I know Pip does a card kit from each of our collections, and I know she definitely is working on one for this collection. And she did give me a sneak peek of something else she's working on, which I'm very excited by. And I know Pip will be stocking these on her website, and also she'll be using these on Tuesday, I hope. So in her Facebook Live. So you can see, look how beautiful all of those pages are. So you've got something which is very, very sort of mixed media. Then you've got the images of the Ionic buildings. So you've got these really beautiful, again, very mixed media, beautiful just on their own for cards, even for mail cards. I love this sort of collage pages, and it's something I've done in this pad, and I really, really like it. And I hope you do too. I just think it just gives so much for your eye to be drawn to. And again, we've got another one here where we've got the word art in this, and I think this would make a really beautiful canvas page. And there she is, Miss Beautiful. So again, you can see that she's my focal point. As you know, I like art journaling, and this is really lovely to see this come to life. Again, one of the buildings, and again, these can be really fussy cut and used in lots of different ways, as you can see. Oh, great, Pip. Sorry, I was a little bit ahead of the game, and I didn't tell Pip I was launching today, and we were talking about it, and then I went and launched it, so I'm sorry. So, but ladies, it is available in Canada, in the States, anywhere in the world. So now these are great if you want to do circular cards, or if you want to use circular focal points, or even if you want to do some of those beautiful dome-shaped shaker cards. So really nice. Again, lovely backgrounds there, all different. Another collage page. So every page has something different to offer you, and something different to show you. So you can see you've got slightly bigger cards there, smaller ones, but again you've got these focal points coming through. Well, it wouldn't be a Pip or a Dali pad without a clock in it. So there we go. I just love the way the layers and the colours and parts of it. I think it's this way actually, because the Eiffel Tower's over here. Hard to tell sometimes. And again, you've got these knocked back images, but just look at the colours, look at the layers, look at the different focal points. I hope you're liking it as much as I do. Thank you, Pip. She's not going to hurt me today, she said. So this is a really nice one to stamp onto. It's got a much more subtle background. Now, if you want to knock any of these images back, I would always use a white primer, a gesso, and that would be absolutely lovely. I hope you're liking them. Now the girl appears again. This is a smaller version of the girl. So she's been done in 3 sizes. So if you do want to decoupage her, it's a really lovely way to do that. So just to show you that. And then we've got another one here. Slightly different building and different collages. I'm thinking I've picked up a few pages from somewhere else. And again, this one, it's a really nice man's one actually. And you've got like the old train in there, you've got a bit of the building, got a bit of Paris. So absolutely, well, I'm going to say it's absolutely beautiful because it's actually one of my favourites, and green is one of my colours. So it is, I really would like you to have a look at it. It's available on YouTube, so you can have a look on ShokART Sisters, so that you can see what the pages look like. If you just go on the website and have a nosy. But can you see all the detail in there? It's just so much. Okay, so that's the book. Well, we couldn't leave without doing the rice papers, could we? So let me share the rice papers with you. So again, the colours follow through to the rice papers. These are A4 rice papers, and these are going to make some beautiful canvases. They're going to, thank you, Gloria, they're going to make some really nice backgrounds, but they're also going to make some really lovely focal points. I was just talking to Rosalie earlier, and we're just saying, if you just got 3 vintage frames and did the crackle in this little green, country green, you would have some beautiful pictures to hang up in your kitchen, or even in your hallway or something. This is the other one I could not miss, Memories, Moments and Time. I just think, again, it's very ionic, it's very beautiful, it's got so many layers in it. You don't need to do much with these, but if you want to use them as backgrounds, they are there to be used. If you want to use them as they are, they're there to be used, but they are absolutely lovely to work with as well. Hi Cleo, hi Lynette. So, and then there she is, my ionic image of the girl. And so you can see all the detail in this is the same as the detail in the book. So we've not missed anything out. And again, you can use parts of these rice papers, and you can also use as a whole. So those are the 3 rice papers in the collection, which match the book, as you can see, all put together to match. Now the next one I've got for you is the stencil and the stamp. The stamp is an A6 stamp. It's called Rustic Paris, and it is really lovely. I know, I love clocks. I like any sort of clock, anything with time on. So whether it's modern, whether it's vintage, I just love it. So the stamp that goes with it, you can use parts of this, you can use the script on its own, you can use the flower, and it's like a silhouette within a stamp. So I'll be showing you some techniques with this. I would show you the stencils, but I sent it to Pip, and tomorrow we are having a delivery from Hobbylicious. Hobbylicious have very kindly designed the stencils with the papers in mind with us, and you can see they're absolutely beautiful. And you've already seen the ones they've done before for us, the mannequin clock, the distressed butterfly, the astral, but this is absolutely beautiful. And you can see you've got these beautiful sort of nearly Art Deco elements to use. You've got this beautiful lattice framework, you've got the clock, you've got the postal marks, and then you've got the Eiffel Tower. This is a beautiful stencil to use. I'm sorry I don't actually have the stencil in my hand, but I just wanted to show you, and that's the stamp as well. So you can see how beautiful and how lovely the detail is. So that is actually the collection. So the collection consists of the A5 stencil, which we've kindly asked Hobbylicious to punch holes for us so that you can put them onto rings. We've got the 3 beautiful rice papers that go with this collection. Yeah, Gloria, the stencil is lovely. I have to say a big thank you to Deborah and Cleo for that. So you've got all these 3 here, which are absolutely beautiful. You've got the beautiful 8x8 pad, and then you've got this beautiful stamp as well. Now, I haven't had time to play with these, I have to be really honest with you. So, but I have tried my best because I had 1 stamp. So let me show you what I've been up to. I think Paul's falling asleep. So let's start off with the stencil that I showed you. Now, let's just put it away. Let me just quickly show you. Let's bring it back in. So I had a little bit of play before I sent the stencil off to Pip to test. So I just want to show you some examples. So this one, and I'll be showing you some demos as well, but I really want to show you some of the effects that you can create with these. The stencils are 250 Mylar, and what it means is that we can still use them through the embossing machine, if you do have one, or a die cutting machine, and we can use a bit of wax and a bit of distressed oxide, and we can create these really beautiful effects. So they are absolutely beautiful to work with. Okay, then I've done this one where I've just literally spread the distress oxides over the stencil and then sprayed it and put that down, and you can see how beautiful that looks. And this is just watercolor paper. But again, such lovely, it looks like fabric, I have to be honest, but it's just a really lovely way to work with these stencils. Again, just in one color tone. And again, you can stamp over these now. You could use these with your papers. This is just on smooth cardstock, and all it is just spritzing, and then putting the stencil down. Change your colour tones. Now these colour tones really do match the book, so you can change your colour tones to match as well, but just look how beautiful the detail is and the textures. This is actually putting it through, again, through the embossing machine and then just using the brown over the top. So you can get this sort of more vintage, rustic feel about it as well. But this is just, I've used them as a whole. You can just use parts of these stencils. Now, I haven't done much more with this, but this is structure paste. Structure paste is absolutely beautiful. Can you see all, as you would say, all that structure? And it just gives you this amazing effect. This is just on like £110, 300 GSM cardstock. But now when I'm going to go in with my spritzers, I'm going to go in with my other bits and pieces, I've got all these raised bits which is going to catch texture when I dry brush. But I haven't had a play with this yet, but it was just something I really wanted to share with you. So use your crackle paste, use your other paste, use your deluxe paste. There's so many things that you can do. So that was a little bit of a play with the stencils. So, whoops, I'm throwing them away now. Oh, nearly landed in water. That would have been a good look. Okay, so looking at the stamp, I just started playing with the stamp, and I am actually working on Elizabeth Craft Designs, a planner, but I've just done a couple of pages in the planner, and I just want to show you this stamps beautifully, and you can get some of these beautiful effects. I will show you how to do this. Then what I've done is I've gone with a bit more darker colours and then come in with the stamp and stamped over the top. Now this does look like fabric. All it is just some cardstock, but I've used the white primer to lift the middle of that so it gives you that sort of light through the middle. So, good afternoon, Jill. Oh, I can't wait to see what you will make. Oh, I hope your Rustic will get better. So this is another one where I've made it, so I've extended the stamp, and this is what the beauty of this stamp is that you can use these, but can you use the, see that bit would make such a nice tag. It's so beautiful. So if you're into junk journaling, if you're into album making, these are really, really lovely to use for that as well. They are so gorgeous. They're a slightly different look, a bit more sepia, more vintage. Oh, sneak preview at something else that's coming up, but not today. So we've got a little bit of it there. And this is probably one of my favourites because I love the colours in this one. But doesn't it look like an old postcard? And then I've got a different colour on the back. So I'm going to show you how to do some of these techniques using the stamp. They're so easy, they're so much fun, and I think you'll love them. Okay, so let me just put these down. Right, so I started playing just before you guys came on air. So today I'm going to actually show you how these stamps work with the ShokART pigments. Now the ShokART pigments come in about, let's count, 6, 12, 13, 14. We've got 15 colours, we've probably got more than that. But this is using some of the 2 colours. And I don't know if you can see that, but it is, in real life it's very, very shiny. And when I say it's very shiny, it really is like a shimmer. But it is absolutely beautiful and a really lovely technique to do. So then I've done it on white as well. So I've used a gold there, I've used a number of other colours there. I don't know if you can see that. Ignore how dirty my paper is. but just shows you, just stamping it as a whole is so beautiful, but even to stamp parts of it is still very beautiful. And then what I've done is I've done some of those watercolor effects as well. This is where you add no water, a little bit of water, and then a lot of water. So depending on what sort of effect you want to go with, you can use these different effects. And I'll show you all three of them so that you can see how I did that. Yeah? So let's get playing. So the first thing I'm going to do, let me do it on this bit, is I'm going to show you how easy it is. I've actually left my stamp as it is. Now you don't have to. Now you can mask whatever bits you want off on this and use whichever bits you want. So mine's loved and used. Now the first thing I'm going to do is, I should really clean my paper, not put all my sticky paws on it. I'm going to use a Versamark. Now a Versamark is like a watermark stamp pad, and basically it's sticky. Now you can do this, but hi Debbie, you can do this, but the thing is with wet ink, but I'm always aware that the colour that you put on is not clear, whereas this is clear. Don't look at the pad itself, it shouldn't look like this, it's usually very white. Pip's is probably really white, but hey, this is Dali. So she says, got something stuck in the stamp before she seems to. So all you do is, as you would with an ink pad, just tap it. And basically, what happens is it becomes sticky. And that's what the pigments adhere to. Now the pigments can be mixed with any of your pastes. The pigments can be put into spray bottles. They can be added to other sprays to give you shimmer. There's just so many techniques that you can do. They can be added to your clay. They can be used as waxes with transparent wax. So there's loads of things. So I'm just going to do that. Okay. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp it directly onto my piece of paper. Okay. So all I'm doing is just taking the stamp and just pressing that like you would if you were doing an ink pad. Okay. I just love the way these stamps work, and it works beautifully on the papers as well. So, okay, so we've got this. There we go. And then I'm just going to lift that up. Now you won't see much. I can see it, and you probably can because my stamp has got stuff on it. But you'll see it should be like a faded colour. So I'm just going to put that aside for 1 second because I'm going to use the stamp again, and then I'll do it on the black. Okay, let me show you on the black as well, because I want to show you on both, because the same colours can look totally different on both. Now, like I said, we've got 15 colours. We've got some which are iridescent, which means they look like they're white, but when they come out, they're a totally different colour. And I'll show you one of those as well. We've got that in greens and reds and so many different colours. I'll show you those in a second. I'm just going to do the stamping first. Obviously you could use an anti-static pad to make sure nothing else is going to stick. Make sure your hands are clean. You haven't got any oils or anything, because basically the pigments will pick up everything. Okay. There we go. So again, you won't see this, but I know it's there. Okay, there you go. So next thing you need to do is, it takes a while for this to dry anyway, so you'll be okay. Let's go back to the white, and I'll start on my white first. So what I've done is, I'm just going to take, look at all these colours. Oh, they are so lush. So you've got a white gold, you've got a yellow gold, you've got a green, you've got a blue, you've got a red, and then you've got some other colours. You've got this beautiful green which matches, that's why I've taken it out. So I've got like a cosmos blue, purple, a gold, a green, and then I've got one of those. I wanted to show you one of those sort of translucent, sort of iridescent. This is blue, by the way. Okay, so what I do is I just get a dry brush, something a little bit fluffier maybe, even an old makeup brush will do. Anything that's quite fluffy. I've just had this at hand. I have got one which I use especially for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by throwing a bit of colour at it. Okay, just tap it over Now this goes a long, long way. Don't use too much. Now this is actually makeup grade as well. So if you wanted to use it as eyeshadow, add it to your clear nail varnishes, you could. But obviously make sure you don't mix them with your craft products if you are going to do that. Okay, let's add a little bit of gold. Let's do this in purple and gold. I think that might be a nice combination. I might add some of that blue actually. So you sort of want some coverage. You won't see the blue so much on the white, but I still want to add it. Okay, let's add a little bit more green at the bottom. This is far, you know, this is more than enough. I know it doesn't look like it, but once I start mixing this, now you can put a lot more, and then whatever you have left, put it in a pot. Because what you want to do is you don't want to smudge the wet ink. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in. I might even lift a little bit more so that I don't smudge the ink. Yeah, and you see what happens when I've done this. And I love this effect. And the thing is, by using these in your pastes, by using them in your spray bottles, you can actually have a set of everything. Okay, let's add a little bit more. And you could do this on self-adhesive paper and it gives you this beautiful effect. There we go. I think that's more than enough. So you'll see how much I still have left. Look. Can you see? Even by doing that little bit. So all you do is wipe that back. Okay, take as much as you can off. And what I do is I'm just going to put it, what I do is I usually have a pot and I put it all in one pot. And then that way you can use it for a different project. I don't like to waste it. It's just so beautiful. Now you've made another colour there, by the way. So I'm just going to take my little bit of scrap of paper and I'm just going to drop it onto that. And I can still add it to my next one. Now what I found was the easiest to wipe with is like an old tea towel. Just take an old tea towel and then just rub. As long as you've not put your fingerprints anywhere, you can create this beautiful effect. Now I will show you this, and obviously we can take this to the next level. But can you see, I'm hoping I can get the light for you. There you go, you can see the shimmer is absolutely beautiful on that. And obviously you could put this on darker, you could put it on lighter, you could do different colours. You've got so many colours. I mean, look, I've got over 15 colours. They're all so different. Okay, so can you see how that works? How beautiful that is. I hope you like that. Thank you. So it's really nice. That's very true, Jill. Yes, I have made mine a little bit mucky, and yes, it doesn't affect the results. I mean, some people even use their ink pads to do it. So now let's show you on black. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw that rest of that, because I don't want to waste it. I'm going to throw back that rest of that bit that I had left over. There we go. Look at the different colour totally. And I'm going to add some of that blue into this as well. Let's have a look what we come up with. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I'm liking this one a lot. See? And you don't need a lot. This is the thing. And that blue looks beautiful. I'm going to put a little bit of blue just on the edge here. Put a little bit of blue here as well. Because I like that blue. Oh, I like this one. Can you tell I like this one? There we go. See how easy it is? But look at the effects you're getting. I mean, these are absolutely, you know, beautiful to work with. And they really lend themselves. And if you've bought the stamp from the Crate Ink Art, then this will be another effect that you can do. In fact, why don't I show you with that stamp as well? Now that I've got it out, I might as well. Oh, I like that. Now let me show you that. Now when this is cut down, when you put this together, look at that. Now you can use the same technique through your stencils, so it doesn't have to just be with a stamp. Isn't that beautiful? I just love what you can do. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Lynette. Shall I try with that? That beautiful crate. I think it's going to look gorgeous with that stamp because it's another big stamp. Now we're bringing you these mixed media stamps because you can use all these parts. You don't have to use the whole as it is. Right, let me show you with this one as well. Obviously, depending on what colours you do, you're going to get very, very different effects. Let me show you. I like the black because obviously on black it will show up more than it does on white. But white's a really nice one if you're doing sort of invitations. Now the other thing you could do is if you've got precision, you can go over the top with like a brown ink pad to capture the design over again, but leaving some of it there. That would be quite nice actually, I think. I might try that. Try anything, won't I? Okay, so always clean your stamp, by the way, because if you don't, it gets sticky, and that might ruin another of your projects. So just make sure you do clean your stamps after you've put Versamark on. I just use a little wipe. It's quite important you do that, okay? Or even spritz them with water and do it later. Right, so let's see, what colour shall I go for this time? Well, we did the blue and the gold. Shall we do the green this time and see what this is going to look like? Because obviously this is a different stamp altogether anyway. And you'll get an idea of how much you need. Okay, let's put 3 colours into this one. I haven't opened the others, but if you wanted to, you could. I'm going to go for 4. I've got a bit of purple here as well. Let's see how that works on the dark colour as well. Put a little bit more green. Just tap it on. The reason I tap it on, and rather than just going in, is this is wet underneath. And the problem you'll get is that you'll ruin your design. You'll move it around. So let's go in. I don't know what it's going to turn out like though, do we? Don't know how these colours are going to work. It's going to be a mishmash. But do you know, I don't mind. There we go. And again, you can just fling that off. There we go. But your stamp is totally changing. There we go. Now we do these in a set, so they are available. I don't know if they're on either mine or Pip's websites, but let us know if anybody wants a set. So ignore that bit there. But can you now see how totally different that one is with the purples, the golds, and again how beautiful that comes out. It's so crisp. It's amazing. Well, I'm really liking this. And now this, cut out and matte and layered, is going to look absolutely beautiful. So the effects are totally different on black and white. Yeah, so you can see. Now if you were to, say, stamp it onto a craft card or a craft paper I've got here, let's have a look what that would look like. I've never done it onto this, by the way, so I'm going to see what that would look like. Okay, so let me take the Paris one. I might as well go with that one. This is the newest one. And let's see what it's going to look like on this. I'm a bit of a daredevil, aren't I? I always want to try something a little bit different. Okay, so, and again, you know, you could use just one colour. You don't have to use a mixture of colours. I like the 2 colours actually, because I think it gives it something a little bit different. But do you know what? I'm going to just use, and maybe I'll just use the blue on this and see what that comes out like on this craft paper. There we go. Obviously you've got loads of colours. Now you can see, even if you did this in a brown sepia, it would look beautiful on there, and we can have a look at that in a minute. Great for making tags and pages. Okay, I hope you're enjoying it. Yeah, the Gloria, yes, the Versamark does stay wet for longer. What happens with the Versamark is the minute you add anything to it, I'm going to lift that over the top. The minute you add anything to it, it actually stops being sticky. That's all it is. I nearly knocked all of those over there. And that's all it is. So, and that's why we use it, is because it gives it that. I've actually gone for 2 colours. So let's go in. So I don't know what it's going to look like on this paper, because obviously it's a different, totally different colour. So I've gone with a bit of purple, a bit of gold. I did have a bit of blue, but I think I've mixed it so much. Let's have a look how that looks. So it's quite subtle, I think, in comparison. But it's still going to be beautiful. There we go. So can you see, totally different look, but still looks absolutely gorgeous. You see that? Absolutely beautiful. Now what you can do, I'm going to move these back before I knock them all. You can actually also use these. So if you were to put it onto your mat like this, put a few colours down. Well, I'm only using these few colours because that's what I've opened. Okay, and then if you spritz that with water, that will make you a really beautiful, beautiful background. And let me show you. Just 1 second, I'm just going to cut this down so I don't ruin that bit. So, just cut that bit down. So what you can do is just take your piece of paper and then they work so well. And what will happen is when that dries, that will have the most beautifulest sparkle that you've ever seen. So let me just dry that very quickly for you and you'll see what I mean. And if you did it on a watercolour card, that would be even nicer. Okay, and I'll show you that on black in a second as well. So can you see the glimmer on that now? And then what we can do is we can just take that, let's take a part of that stamp rather than all of it. Let me just take this bit here. And I'll just show you how beautiful that can look. Let's go in with we're going with a brown. The brown would look nice. So I'm just going to try and capture just that bit of it. And let's just put that one to the side. So you can see very easily you can create this beautiful, okay. And obviously you could put this on a stamping plate if you wanted, or on an acrylic block, which would be easier actually to work with, but I don't mind. I quite like my Rustic effects. Now look at that. Now can you see that? How beautiful. I mean, I've only done a part of that. I've done just a little bit of, it's really, really beautiful. And then what you can do, if you want to make it all the same, is we could come in with a little bit of the green. Oops. Just put a little bit of the green powder here. And I mean, you just need a little bit. These are going to go a long, long way. Add it to your spritzer bottles, add it to everything. You can really go to town with these. I'm going to put a little bit of water on there. So I'm just going to lift a little bit of water with my brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to paint bits of it. So you can come in and can you see how easy it is to use these just to paint in some of the detail. Look, and then those bits will pop and they will be really, really lovely and translucent. And you can watercolour anything with these. You can draw lines, you can make backgrounds, you can basically do whatever you like with them. They are so versatile. And then you can just use all the different colours, and then you can create these really lovely backgrounds. But I just love the way that works, and I love the way this has come out. Now if you were to add your little bit of your distress ink just to make it a little bit more brown, just do that, you will see how quickly this becomes such a beautiful piece. Come in, ignore my table moving at 100 miles per hour, and then I'll cut that up just to show you. Let's cut it to the top. And I think this is what it's all about, is play. It's a little bit of paper, it's not much more than that, you know, and just play with it. So let me just finish that little tag off. But can you see, by just a little bit of product, how quickly you can transform a little bit of white paper into something quite beautiful. And you could come in, if you wanted to, with a little bit of green that matches these colours that are all matched also to the Distress Oxides. And if you want to, you could take a little bit more script just at the bottom. This is when I say to you, use parts of this stamp, is you could just come in and just bring a little bit more, not much more, into there. Okay, just wipe that off. And now look at that. Isn't that a really lovely vintage tag? So I haven't cut the corners straight, ignore that, or I haven't cut it straight or anything like that. But I just wanted to show you how beautiful it can look. These mica powders have no binder in them. They're cosmetic grade, and we bought them in specially because what we wanted was for you to add whatever you wanted to them, and once they're on the paper, they are there. So if you wanted to set them, you could set them with a spray, like a hairspray. But to be honest with you, they don't come off once you've got them. I should do a finger where I haven't got anything on. But yeah, they don't have a binder in them. So, but it just shows you how lovely they are to work with them. And like I say, look at that. I just think it's so lovely the way the stamps work for you and work all by themselves. And we did this one earlier again. Just to transform these into the next bit, all you have to do, and I'm just showing you just as examples, is just take a little bit of your Distress Oxides and just come in and really will make these more vintage. At home, obviously, take your time. And all I'm doing is just going with some vintage photo, coming in, and the mica's staying where it is, so don't you worry, or the pigment, whatever you want to call it. It has lots of names. This works really well with crackle paste as well. Okay, I'll take a little bit here. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray a little bit of water onto that. Take a little bit of kitchen towel and then just lift that off. Oh God, I'm going all squirrely whiff today. And then what you'll get, I don't know if you can see that, can you see how you get these bits? It's like a speckled look without the splashes. Yeah? And then what you can do is that you can either use a mica, which will give you a really quite a bright splash. Let me see if I can do that for you, because it will give you like a different finish to what it would if it was a brush. And then what you can do is just come in and add that. And when that dries, it will have a sparkle to it. And it just gives that finish. Yeah. And you just get this really lovely effect quite subtle, but you can see how beautiful that can look. Now you can come in and say if you feel, well actually I think that's too light, what you can do is just pick bits of your stamp up and just bring that in. And then that way you can add another layer to this piece of work. Can you see? And I just love the fact that you can do so much with these stamps, even though they look like they're just one stamp. And can you see how we're changing that all the time? And again, you could come in, you could do some more colouring into this, you could make the flowers pop a little bit more, you could put some lines into that, put some more darker bits of the, you know, could really make these corners darker. So again, each time you do this, you're going to get a different look. And I just love the fact that you can do this with just one stamp, but you can do so many different looks. Gloria, some of the micas are more matte, some of them are metallic, some of them are iridescent. It's okay, Christy, it's not a problem. Yeah, I know, Gloria, I need to fix the table. I try not to do too much moving. So you've got a couple of looks there. Look how different they look by darker or lighter. But I just love this effect. I mean, even that, with a bit of twine, maybe a sentiment, would be such a beautiful, you know, you can put a little bit of journey sentiment that we've got from one of the stamps, or Crate Art ink. So that's one. Right. Now this is probably the easiest technique you're ever going to do, but I think it's one of the most effective techniques. But I do love the mica techniques as well. I've got loads of techniques for stamps. Okay, so, oh, you might as well use this. No one's going to know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stamp. I'm going to choose, in this case, I'm using cracked pistachio, a bit of the festive berry, and fossil amber. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in randomly. I am not going to overthink this. And I know you shouldn't do this with your dressings. Close your eyes if you don't like it. Okay. And just a little bit, not too much of the red, because red is very powerful. Right, so my stamp isn't totally covered. I'm not worried about that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just spritz a little bit of water, not too much. Just a little bit of water, and you'll get an idea of how much you need as you do this. And this would be nice on watercolour card actually. So let me just put that down and show you what that's going to look like. That's right, Jill, you can actually mix these with absolutely everything. And these are actually, like I said, very high grade. And the pigment you get from them is absolutely beautiful. You can do so much with them, and I'll be showing you that over the coming weeks. Okay, I'm just pressing this so it goes into the paper. And what you get is this really lovely watercolour effect. And can you see that? How lovely that is. So it's absolutely beautiful. So if you want that to be a little bit darker, so this is a bit light here, all you need to do is go in with slightly darker colours. So depending on the look you're going for, you can easily change your look. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray that up again, and then I'm going to take that down. So very, very easy to work with. Just imagine if you did sort of an ombre effect in the background and then did the silhouette stamp, it would look absolutely beautiful. Obviously you can emboss with these, you can, you know, do all the stuff that you can do. One of the things I haven't tried, and I'm desperate to try, and I should have done it today, is to see how well these actually embed themselves into air dry clay, because that would be interesting to see how they would work, because it'd be lovely to see how that would come out. So that's something I'm going to have to try. There we go. Now if you want a sort of a more brown vintage look, then you've got this. So again, you can make this by using different colours into whatever you want. I showed you when we first started these 3 effects. You can see where I've used no water, water, lots of water. And you can see how beautiful they come out. And then you've got something like this as well. So you can see all the contrast, but can you just imagine making a book sort of out of these and sort of making a whole journal as your focal points as one of the pages, or then putting your photographs on there. So these are some of the examples. Let me show you some that if anybody missed out on any of the previous ones. I showed you some with the stencils, the different looks. So you can see. So the watercolouring sort of effect, even with the stencils, is absolutely beautiful. And in fact, you could now stamp on these and it would look lovely. Should we try that? Oh, go on then. Oh gosh. Let's try on this one. And there's some other colours. You know when I said to you some other colours? One of my favourite colours. And then you've got other ones like that. But look how lovely they look. That's just white cardstock, just inexpensive white cardstock. And then if you want to go a bit darker, then you can go a bit darker. But I'm just doing them with distress inks, but just imagine with a VersaFine how different that would look. Okay, I think I'm going to go with a brown and I'm going to try and see if this works on here and see how that looks. I have no idea how it's going to look, but then that's me all over, isn't it? And I just want to try something different. Okay, bit of spray, just clear water, and let's put this here. I'm going to put it, so I don't want to cover the old Eiffel Tower, so let's take it here. See how this is going to look for us. I have no idea, by the way, as usual. I mean, I'm just showing you as a whole most of the time, but you can use whatever parts. So you can decoupage the Eiffel Tower onto it. You can cut out the flower. You can just use the script from the back. Use it how you want. Use the postal bit on its own. I've done it so that you can use each of the elements or as a whole. And just look at that. Can you see how we're already building up the background? That looked lovely. I love the way the water's here. Maybe we'll do a little bit more over here. And I think I'm going to use the flower bit. And I might use some of these postal marks from up here. So there we go. Add a little bit of water, not too much. And then let's add that bit. I think I quite like the idea of it sort of here. Again, I'm just playing. I've even moved my stamp, so really I'm playing. And then you can just see the sort of looks you're going to get. And I love the way this all just, it's just a background, and the way it comes together and how it works. That look beautiful. So again, and then what you can start to do is just pick bits of this up. Say for example, you just want a little bit here. And then what you can start to do is bring a little bit of that. So that you're covering the background. There we go. I just love the way it all works. You've got the stencil in the background, you've got the bit of this script. You see how the script stamp really works well with this? Yeah? And then what we can do is we can take the brown and we can sort of start to, because, oh no, that moving table again, isn't it? Let's be gentle, Dolly. I don't want to give you all a headache today. There we go. Look, you see the table's not moving on magic. There we go. And then if you keep doing that around the edges, there we go. And so you can see how that's already drawn you right into the middle. Now you don't have to do any more than that if you don't want to. If you don't want to bring any more in, or if you really want to darken these edges, but not the rest of it, then you can do that. So you can see that by darkening those, you're bringing it all in again. And it just looks, I can't tell you how nice it actually looks in real life, but it does look absolutely amazing, the fact that you can do that. I quite like this bit here, and you can make that into a really beautiful tag. So there's just so many ways of using these and just making it your own. Again, I'd probably spray some water on it to move it around a little bit, and then what I would do is I'd take a piece of paper and lift some of that water off, because I love that effect. I'm sure you all do. You see? And that just gives you that really nice mottled effect. And I'm going to do something else because I can. I've never tried this, but I'm going to try it because I can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some of that green in. And then just going to drop a little bit more over here. Not much. And what you can do is if you go in and it's wet somewhere, the powder will stick to it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use a little bit of water to move it around. Not a lot, but a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is just lay my paper on again, quickly lift that off. And then what you'll have is some bits which are more green, some bits. And I'm just going to wash that through a little bit, not too much. And I just like the fact that it's catching where it is, where it's a little bit wet, but it's not catching everywhere. And this just gives you another, it's always about creating those layers. Don't be afraid. Ever be afraid. It's a piece of paper, and I don't know if you can now see that. It's got a bit of a sheen to it. And this is just a it's not even a very thick piece of paper, unfortunately. Now you could die cut that. You could make that into a little book cover. Looks absolutely beautiful, doesn't it? Doesn't matter which way you look at it. And it's just so pretty. And that's all I wanted to share with you today. It's okay, Jayashri. Do you want me to do the stencil with the watercolours, Gloria? Okay. Let me do that. So you've got all these colours that we've done, so you can see all of these colours. We've done lots today. Done this one. Okay, so Gloria wants to see. Let me just grab a piece of paper, Gloria, and I'll show you the watercolours. So most of you will have the stencils from the previous range. I don't have this stencil, which is absolutely beautiful, but Pip does as a demo, so anybody in Canada will get to see it. So what I'll do is I'll use this one, okay? So all I'm going to do, just so that you can see, is I'm going to put some, again, some distress inks on the back of it. Okay, now be careful with this because it needs to go down reverse, okay, because it's got letters in it, but you don't have to do that bit. Again, just do that like you would. Use, just because I've got these colours handy. Might put a blue into it because I can. You don't need a lot, by the way. I'll stick to 2 colours actually, see what that comes like. Okay, for you, Gloria. Right, let me just spritz that with a little bit of water. Now you could put it through your embossing machine like this as well. And then what you can do think I did it like this, you know, I can't even remember now. Typical Dolly. And then all we're going to do is we're going to lay that down onto my sheet. Again, press that in. And these are just, every time this will come out different. Never two, and never the same. Yeah? And this is the thing. Oh, you're welcome, Elizabeth. Oh, look at Pip. She's been busy. She's put all the projects on. Well done, Pip. And there you go. Just look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Now, obviously, I could put more ink on that side. But look at those two, just those two colours as a background. Now then, you can build on that now. So you could take that. Now don't laugh, after everything I just told you, I did it the wrong way round. Look, put the word butterfly upside down, but we knew that. So, on this one, it's this way, and then it will be the right way, okay? So you can do that. Now the other thing you could do, let me just clean this off for 1 second. Spray it with water. Could reuse that, you know. Now you could use your sprays here. You could do this in lots of different ways. Okay. Let me just wipe all this because otherwise we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Let me just dry this a little bit because I want to use this stencil again. So now you've got me started. I don't want to finish. See, this is called Dali Playtime. Okay, let's do it on black. I love that. Now, if you were then now to start building on that, wouldn't that be beautiful? And even bringing in your, if you take the right colours, you can bring in your Paris book and you can start to put the girl on there. Look at that. You see, can't you? You can do so much. Right. Got a bit of black on this one? Yeah. So, what I'm going to do, maybe stick it on the right way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. I'm going to try this. It's not always easy with this, but I'm going to go through this. And what you're trying to do is just get through the stencil. Now, it's not going to be perfect, by the way. Now, I have got a Versamark pen as well, so I could easily do it with that. So, all I'm doing is I'm just going in. So I might not catch it all, but I just want to give you an idea that you can also do this with the stencils. The stencils are absolutely beautiful. Now what I do sometimes is I put them through the embossing fold and then I use the Versamark. And then what happens is I can catch everything that way as well. I'll show you that actually as well, because I can. Probably think I'm losing the plot. So I've got most of it. I'm going to drop that into water because I don't want it to stay sticky, to protect it now that I've got rid of it. Okay, so now what I can do is I can do that same technique with the stencil. So let's come in and let's go for it. Okay, so, and this is a really lovely way to use your stencils as well. So don't always think that a lot of the techniques you do with your stamps, you can do with your stencils and vice versa. Yeah, look at this. It just comes out so beautiful. And I've done this very, very quickly. At home, you're going to take your time. And it'd be lovely to see what you make. Do share that. Now, Pip is doing an amazing workshop on May the 16th. Now, we've got a few people already signed up from the UK. So thank you very much to those who have signed up. It is a online workshop, so you can do it at your own leisure or you can join us and do it together. You have lots of options, just a workshop only, starting at a very, very small fee, or you have the options of buying the kits, which actually work really well because you can use the kit for lots of other projects. Now, isn't that beautiful? Now, let's give that a bit of a shine. Obviously, at home, please take your time. And there you have a beautiful, magnificent, shiny butterfly. So I've just used a couple of colours, or 2 colours again it seems like, but use any colours you like. You've got loads of colours in those, and look at that. So you've got something like that, you've got something more like this. So you've got so many choices. Now I mentioned to you, because I can't resist, and it's just me, I also mentioned to you, and if I can find it very quickly before I go, because I don't want to go today. Can you tell I don't want to go? So if you've got something like this, which you've already embossed, you've already gone over with your, what am I going to say? With your inks and everything, you can still add to this. So what you can do is, say if I do that, just on that side I'm going to do it. You can then come in and say, well actually I'm going to add a little bit of blue there, because that's where I've caught that bit of ink. Let's take a little bit more of this blue, and then you can just bring that into wherever you put the Versamark down. Now I've only done that subtly at the top, so you can then add. I didn't do that very well actually, to be honest with you. Let me do that a bit better. So depending on how much you want to add, let's put a little bit of green into it now. So can you see, if you add a lot of powder and it's still very, very wet, you can actually get a lot of colour down. And there you go. Wipe some of that away. And then you can get bigger bits down, and you can actually make it look like metal. So can you see how different that already looks from something that was like this to something like that? Now you could go in again and you could start to, say for example, whoa, you wanted to, you can then, with your stamp, Versamark will lift out the colour, which is amazing. And what we can do now, got a little bit of script going on there, the corner of that, got my hair stuck everywhere because it's sticky, and we can use a little bit of the gold now. I don't know where I put it there. Oops, I think I must have had a lot of wet bits there. And what we can do now, might as well put it all over wherever I had it. And you can see the script coming through. So wherever the Versamark is still wet, or you've got a bit of wet, you will always get that. I just want to show you how lovely. So where you've got the script, can you see? Look at that. So you can use your stamp and your stencil, and you can do, so half of this is done, and obviously half isn't now. And look how much of a difference that's already making. So can you see the script that I've just added there? And up here. My nails are staked. So that gives you a really nice idea. Again, look how lovely that is. Ooh, luscious. Right, that's enough playtime for me today. I have to get home, I think. So I just wanted to share all of that. Oh yes, 10% off on the kit. And the kit that you get is something that is really something you will always use in all our workshops. Oh, thank you, Gloria. So definitely take a look at that. I just love, 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 love. So lots and lots of different types of ways of doing things. Look at all these now. What am I supposed to do with all this? So got all these different effects. Look at that. And then you've got the beautiful collection. If any of you missed out looking at it, please take a look. Beautiful stamp, beautiful stencil. There's a stamp actually. It's the only one I've got. Oh, and the one I'm using. And then you've got your 3 beautiful rice papers to match if you missed out. Just launched today, so brand new. Pip and I are over the moon with it. And then you've got this beautiful book. Absolutely loads. Oh, it's got double-sided, by the way. I'm just flicking through it very quickly because I know most of you will want to go and play, hopefully. So you've got her. She's beautiful, beautiful. There we go. So circular ones. I've given you everything, hopefully, to play with. Pip and I have busy been designing. We have another collection coming out in May. And then we have a big collection coming out in June. And then we've got to think about July, August, September. There we go. So can you see how beautiful all of these are? I think I've picked up more than I'm not sure if I've mixed my pages up or what. But there we go. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. I can't even say it. So thank you very, very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying all these new collections from us. Thank you, Gloria. Jayashri, the 10% is basically already taken off for you when you order the kit. So if that's something you're looking at, then that's already taken off. And the workshop is free if you buy the entire kit. You get the embellishments and you get the kit as well. Now the kit is huge, so just be aware of that. You're welcome. Thank you, Perry. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate you enjoying the techniques. Thank you, Lynette. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Pip. Thank you, everybody. So that's right, Pip. Very technically put there. It's already factored into the price. So have a lovely day in Canada. Enjoy. And have a lovely evening in the UK. And wherever you are, enjoy. And take care, stay safe. And I will see you next Thursday. But I will be putting some, I know Pip will be doing her demonstrations on Tuesday, which is 6 p.m. in the UK, but 10 o'clock in Canada. So we hope you can join us. And we hope that you like what we bring. And yeah, your support and your love and all your feedback is very much welcomed. So take care. Bye for now.